Welcome to the channel where education meets adventure and passions are transformed into lifelong lessons. Of 5 years vlog. Hi guys, welcome back to of 5 years vlog. On this channel, we talk about career, education, and lifestyle. If these are subjects that are of interest to you, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notification for this channel. People have gotten admission, they have gone through the visa process, and exciting news is they've been approved. Now the question is, what do I do when my visa has been approved? If you have gotten your visa approved, this is good news. Congratulations. First of all, you have to notify your school because most of these schools have arrangements for students that are coming in. They have scheduled orientation that are going to take place, and you don't want to miss orientation. So please notify your school that your visa has been approved. Also, make sure that you contact the international students office because there are some things that you need to do. Basically, I'm talking about medicals that you need to do before you come to the US. So I remember when I was coming, we had to do an MMR test, and we had to do it in Ghana. You don't want to miss that. So you have to contact your international student office to know that if this test can be done in the US, or even if the medical expenses caters for it, even if it's covered for, or you have to pay for it. If it is in Ghana, make sure that you know the specific hospitals that are approved for it because they require some specific hospitals to do this. Make sure you have all your required documents. Required documents, I mean your passport, your I-20, your admission letter, the bank statement, the proof of sponsorship if applicable. If you got full funding, you might not need a bank statement. Letter of sponsorship, certifications, your transcripts. Please make sure you have all this in one clear bag. So mostly people will say that the clear bag that you use for the visa interview, you don't even have to take anything out from it once you get your visa approved. Keep that file because most likely you sent all the documents you need to pass through the port of entry for your visa interview, right? So keep everything. One thing you have to take note of is that you have to keep this clear bag in your carry-on bag. So the carry-on bag, you don't check it when you get to the airport. That is with you on the plane. And this is because once you get to the port of entry, you will need this document to make sure you are allowed access into the United States. So with the accommodation, this is extremely important. I'm currently in a group, and then someone is saying that, hey guys, who is in Ohio in this university? I have a friend that is coming, but then the accommodation that he had has failed, and he needs someone to lodge with a few days, and then he can sort out his accommodation. You don't want to inconvenience someone. You don't want to inconvenience someone. You are new to this place. You are already maybe like going through a lot of emotions, and then you don't want to create any situations that will even worsen the everything for you. So make sure that you sort out your accommodation before you come. If you are lodging with a friend, make sure they have consented to it, you have agreed on the time you are moving out, all of those things. The next thing is to book a flight. Now I'm going to say that one thing you have to consider when booking a flight is your last destination. Make sure that your last destination is an airport that is closer to your school. So if I'm coming to Arizona State University, my last destination should be Sky Harbor International Airport, Phoenix, right? Why am I saying this? So you get to the port of entry, and then you are asked some questions. I say that I'm coming to Arizona State University, but my last destination is like Ohio, thinking you are going to visit a friend or catch up some vibe before you get to the school. But this might generate a lot of questions, and that might intimidate you. Personally, when I got to the port of entry, I got intimidated. So you don't want to create that environment for yourself. And then once you get to your school, you can catch the vibe later with your friends. Also, when you are booking the flights, you have to consider the total cost of transportation. Usually, let's say I get a flight that is very cheap, but then I have to pay for my luggages as well. Then it might amount to the same thing as booking a flight that was a bit expensive but covered the luggages. So make sure you are considering this factor as well. So make sure the flights that you are booking The price includes your luggages, right? Make sure that whilst you are booking the flight, you know the weight they require you to have. Another thing that makes the flight cheaper is your layovers. So usually you will see a layover that is like 59 minutes, and then the flight is very cheap, because how many people would want a layover that is 59 minutes? Now, if you don't know what a layover is, like when you get off one plane and then you are catching another flight, the time between your first flight and your second flight becomes the layover. So what happens is that there might be delays, your flight might delay before taking off. Instances can happen. Most of the time there is a delay in the time of arrival, right? So you don't want to choose 59 minutes and then miss your next flight. You want a layover that is like 2 hours, 3 hours, or even more. When it is more, you can tour the airport, you can maybe use the train if you don't have to go through security again. Use the train to tour around the states that you transited through. So make sure you are paying attention to the layover times in the flight prices. For flights, there are a lot of websites that book flights. There are a lot of websites that books flights. So you can, the most credible one is to go to the airline website, but sometimes we don't know these airlines, right? So you can use Expedia, you can use booking.com, you can use Kayak. There are a lot of websites that do flight booking. So make sure you can just Google it. So make sure you are using artificial intelligence to even check. There is cheapflights.com to even check a website that will give you cheaper flights, and that'll be a very good option for you. Your luggages. This is very subjective. Like the question on what to pack is very subjective. But then one thing that is very objective is that you are coming to a place where there is winter and there is summer. So you are coming, if you are coming from now to maybe September, you know it is summer. So you want to bring light clothes. And these are not new to us coming from Africa, because it's a little warm over there. So you pick your normal clothes that you can wear. Make sure that you pick winter clothes like jackets, pullovers, a lot of socks. Winter clothes in the US is so expensive, especially if you don't get them on time, and then by the time you arrive here, I guess September, October, winter clothes have started getting expensive. So make sure that you have your winter clothes you are coming with. I mean, you want to get some new clothes when you come here, but then make sure you have these necessities. Also, personal advice, I wouldn't advise that you buy a lot of clothes with your money. I don't advise that. I remember at the airport, my parents were taking a lot of things from my bag. I wasn't hearing anything. I wanted to bring the clothes, but then I had to remove a lot of things at the airport, and this got me really frustrated. So you don't want to pack a lot of clothes. Also, if you pack a lot of things, then it should be food, African food. So I was talking about two check bags. You can do one for clothing and then one for food. For food, you don't want to pack a lot of liquid stuff, because that might cause a lot of problems. So solid foods, things that you know, things that are expensive here, like I'll say spices. What else? Okay, so after a while these things become cheap, but then once you are coming, I'll advise that you get some basic stuff. I placed earthenware in my check bag. Why? I When I came here and then my own got spoiled, I bought an earthenware for $40, and that is what you don't want to do. So make sure that the things that are very necessary to you. I removed a lot of clothes at the airport, but not my earthenware, because I knew that I liked a lot of bankun, those kind of local dishes. So you don't want to. It's something that is very subjective. What do you really think you need? Then you can bring them. And then one thing you don't want to forget is a two-pin socket. So I'm going to show you how this looks like in this video. This is a two-pin socket. This is a two-pin socket. Most of the sockets in the US, this is how the pin is. So if you are bringing even an extension board, make sure this is something that you are bringing. This is how it looks like. Yes. We brought extension from Ghana, but then unfortunately the pins were different. So I'm trying to capture the pins as much as possible. So now that you've packed your luggage, you've packed your documents, if you forget anything, not your documents. And one last thing that happened to me, all my shit that I was bringing to the US was thrown away at the airport. because I made a mistake and then placed it in my carry-on bag. Anything liquid, water, anything of that sort cannot go in your carry-on bag. So make sure that you are not putting anything liquid, because your carry-on bag, they will check it, they will scan it, and then every item that does not pass security will be thrown away. There is no excuse for this. Like at that time, you have checked your bags already, so make sure you are not repeating that mistake. So the main question is the luggage thing. What should I pack? But then also, this is very subjective, so you want to pack what you like. But then, disclaimer: don't pack a lot of clothes, because you can get some clothes here after you have gotten some money. I'm not saying it's going to be cheap. Basically, this is the end of this video. I hope this video helps you. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel once again, and thank you for watching. Bye.